Prague has been nicknamed the City of 1,000 Spires for good reason. As you glance over its 1,100-year-old skyline, you'll be rewarded with splendid views of lovely dome churches and soaring old towers that combine to make Prague one of the world's architectural gems. Everywhere you look, find examples of Gothic, Baroque, Renaissance, and Art Nouveau styles dot the city, providing a dramatic contrast to the sturdy old Prague castle. Possessing one of the best preserved historic city centers in Europe, the narrow laneways of Prague's delightful old town open up onto spectacular squares, each home to well-preserved historical buildings just waiting to be explored. Must-sees include the famous Charles Bridge over the Vltava River, and of course, the city's many historic churches. Discover the best places to visit in this enchanting city with our top attractions in Prague. 1. Prague Castle. Holding the record for the largest coherent castle complex in the world, Prague Castle serves double duty as the office of the Czech president and a popular tourist destination. The complex where it stands is also home to several other attractions. Prague Castle has stood in this spot for more than 1,000 years and covers a lot of area. A UNESCO World Heritage Site, the grounds feature a variety of architectural styles, including everything from 10th century Romanesque buildings to Gothic structures from the 14th century. Throughout its history, the castle and the area around it have gone through extensive restorations and renovations. The castle building spans centuries and consists of a royal palace, a cathedral, and 3 churches, a basilica, a monastery, defensive towers, royal stables, a tiny lane where craftsmen worked, and magnificent gardens. Prague Castle began as a wooden fortress with earthen bulwarks in the 9th century. By the 11th century, it included a royal palace, and the 14th century saw the beginning of St. Vitus Cathedral. The cathedral in the castle complex is a jewel in Prague's crown, a superb example of Gothic architecture. Kings and emperors are buried here. 2. Charles Bridge. The Charles Bridge was commissioned in 1357 after the existing bridge had been destroyed by floods. It was completed in 1390 and has stood the test of time for the 500 years since. Over the years, the bridge has become a gathering place for monuments and statues, and some of the best sculptures in the city now line its parapets. After World War II, the bridge was made pedestrian only, and now is one of the most popular tourist spots in the city. This bridge is almost always busy, and they can be fun too. While you're strolling under the Baroque statues that line the parapets, make sure you take advantage of the hawkers to have a snack, buy a souvenir, or just people watch. But if you want to see the bridge at its absolute best, arrive at dawn when no one's around, and you can enjoy the Prague hotspot without interruptions. 3. Wenceslas Square. One of Prague's 2 main squares, Wenceslas Square is a shopper's paradise and haven. Set off as Prague's horse market by Charles IV in 1348, Wenceslas Square is more of a boulevard than a traditional square. Located in New Town, the square is home to bars, clubs, restaurants, hotels, shops, and banks, making it the city's entertainment, nightlife, and commercial district. Much of Czechia's 20th century history happened in Wenceslas Square as political movements and gatherings met at the statue of St. Wenceslas to parade down the square. Wenceslas Square is central to most of Prague as Old Town Square, and Charles Bridge are about a 5-minute walk away, and all 3 metro lines meet in the square. Wenceslas Square is home to the Grand National Museum and the Prague State Opera. 4. Old Town Square, the most picturesque part of the city and one of the best places in Prague. This is the perfect place to spend an afternoon or even a whole day exploring the history and stopping off at cafes and restaurants to try the food. You probably have an image in your head when it comes to Prague of picturesque buildings and streets that could have come right out of fairy tales. And this area is where you'll see those dreams come true. This part of the city has been mostly untouched since the 10th century, and the architecture is dreamy enough to draw locals and tourists in droves. Take lots of pictures while you're in this area, because they'll turn out amazing. And once you're done with that, just wander around and take everything in. Old Town could be straight out of a fairy tale or your best dreams of what Europe should be, so enjoy it. The area is full of alfresco restaurants, so when you want to rest your feet, you can have a great meal and sit down while you take everything in. 5. St. Vitus Cathedral. Situated within the grounds of Prague Castle, the Roman Catholic St. Vitus Cathedral is the Czech Republic's largest and most important Christian church, seat of the Archbishop of Prague. It's also home to the tombs of numerous saints and 3 Bohemian kings. Founded on the site of a Romanesque rotunda, built in 925 AD, The cathedral was started in 1344 and took more than 525 years to complete, resulting in a mix of modern neo-Gothic and 14th century Gothic styles, along with Baroque and Renaissance influences. Interior highlights include stunning stained glass windows depicting the Holy Trinity, a mosaic from 1370, the Last Judgment, and the St. Wenceslas Chapel, with its spectacular jewel-encrusted altar with more than 1,300 precious stones. Be sure to make the climb up the cathedral's 97-meter main tower for splendid views over Prague. Visitors are also welcome to attend Cathedral Mass. 6. The Church of Our Lady Before Tin. The Church of Our Lady Before Tin graces the Old Town Square. Among the most well-known attractions in Prague, the church's Gothic towers soar 80 meters, 260 feet into the sky, and can be seen from all parts of the city. Like many other Prague churches, the site's original building was an 11th century Romanesque church built for foreign merchants who came to Tin Courtyard for trade. The present church was constructed in the 14th century, although the roof, towers, and gables came years later. Inside, Tin Church holds many works of art in Gothic, Baroque, and Renaissance styles. Our Lady Before Tin's architects were Petr Parler and Matthias of Araz, who created many of Prague's Gothic buildings. 7. Prague Zoo. Prague Zoological Garden is situated near the center of the Czech capital, in a unique rugged landscape on the bank of the Vltava River. It opened in 1931, and during its existence of more than 80 years it has risen to become one of the most prestigious zoos in the world. Today, it is the second most visited tourist destination in the Czech Republic, just after Prague Castle. 5,049 animals and 676 species live in Prague Zoo. You can explore 13 pavilions and 150 exhibits over 58 hectares. The kids will love the Bororo Reserve, chairlift, mini train, observation tower, paddling pool, and children's zoo. The pride of the zoo is its Elephant Valley, home to a sizable herd of Asian elephants, the giant salamander house, where you can see the largest amphibians in the world, the critically endangered Chinese giant salamanders, as extraordinary as well, and the African house with an adjacent vast meadow habited by herds of antelopes and giraffes is worth your attention too. 8. National Theatre. Idyllically perched on the banks of the river Vltava, Prague's National Theatre is a must-visit for lovers of the performing arts. Home to the country's top opera, ballet, and drama performances, the National Theatre was opened in 1881 as a symbol of Czech national identity and to promote the Czech language and culture. Despite a somewhat checkered past that saw the building destroyed by fire and even closed by the communists, the stunning theater has undergone extensive renovations and stands as a monument to the city's rich talent and cultural significance. English language guided tours are available. 9. National Museum. The National Museum, which anchors Wenceslas Square, finished construction in central Prague in 1891. Since its completion, the impressive building has undergone 2 military attacks, one in 1945 and the other in 1968, as a result of the attacks, plus a standard century of wear and tear. The museum began a much-needed reconstruction effort in July 2011 that lasted until February 2019. A handful of exhibits are now open in the museum, which have titles including Nature and Miracles of Evolution. Recent visitors appreciated the impressive building, but many of them expressed disappointment regarding the size and quality of the exhibits. Subsequently, a handful of travelers recommend limiting your visit to taking the building's exterior from the square. If you do decide to explore the National Museum's interior, prepare to wait around 2 hours for admission. 10. National Gallery. You can't go anywhere in Europe without exploring the artwork, and this gallery is one of the best places in Prague to do just that. The gallery exhibits both foreign and local artists, and some of the biggest names in history have their work at this venue. The collection is spread across a couple of different locations, and no matter what type of art you like, you'll find something amazing. While you're exploring this gallery, make sure that you look for your favorite artist. The art is spread across several buildings, so give yourself plenty of time to explore. Don't miss the stunning 17th century Sternberg Palace, where there are works by the greats such as Van Gogh, Rubens, Van Dyck, Rembrandt, and Goya. At the Kinsky Palace, you'll see Asian art as well as art from the ancient world.